Okay. Let us see here. It is Wetter Wednesday. It's 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. The first of the month, 2025 AD. The rent's due. Time to collect. If you're a collector, shout out. The views expressed on this show do not represent. And it's not just the views, it's also the attitudes, the spirit. It does not represent Hake, Bond, JLP, Anchor Baby, Derek, or anybody. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? You know what I mean? I know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Probably not. In some cases you may. But you can buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report if you so please. And if you don't please, you can still do it against your own will. Or you can go to, if you're like a Linya and Shin type, you can go to streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. That's kind of old school. But, yeah, what I meant by Wetter Wednesday, because I didn't want to say back, you know, but is wetter even worse? I meant this. Let's see if this works. This is a different one, right? This is version 4. Estamos en el Norte. Isn't it like Hispanic Heritage Month? Something like that? I think so. Because September 15th was Mexican Independence Day. More like dependence on socialism. Yeah, I think this is new for you guys. It's more Suno AI. Whatever. Okay, so we're getting going here. Hello to BitChute, Pill, Wake Me Up, YouTube, of course. Yeah. That's right, Carver. Nick needs to take Hake to Colombia. He won't regret it. Meaning I won't live to regret it. That's funny. Okay, so let me get ready here. Are you cold out there, Jesse? Oh, he's not cold, he's freezing. Don't complain. Meanwhile, it's kind of warm in here. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that arguably beautiful music here. Let's get going. We have to get going here. Take everything that you hear and think and see and judge and interpret with a grain of salt, and read as well with a grain of salt, because you don't know, all right? Grain of salt means don't neither believe it nor disbelieve it, I say. That's what I mean by it. So, okay? For real. And say I present a bad attitude, it doesn't represent me. And so take it. It may not be true. So, FYI, ever think of that? Okay. So I think I don't know. But I ought to be live on all the platforms that I mean to be. Good morning to Jim in Alaska. Live on all these X and Facebook and Punchie.tv. I will get to your super chats. Speaking of Punchie, 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 Punchie TV will be live, is the plan, 2 p.m. today. Okay, so make sure that you join us if you can, if you so please. Check it out. Give us a chance, and then give us another, and another. So, anyway, everybody, let's just get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
There you go! So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. No, I'm not a company man today. Somebody called Hake a company man. But I don't have a Bond or JLP or Hake or Anchor Baby shirt or anything right now. So, but estamos en el Norte. Version 4, I think. So, cool. I do have your super chats, your coffees to get to, but I also have some stories on which to touch a little bit of news. Okay, if we mosey on over, let's see if this works. Yes, if we mosey on over to the HakeReport.com. Oh no, what did I just do? That's funny. Okay, then we can look, the Hake Report, news from a Christian alpha male perspective, and you can click on this button right here and type in your name. Make sure you type it correctly the first time, otherwise it may remember it however you type it the first time, unless you register for the site and switch it out. Look, Popcorn bought me a coffee, very long. Greggatron bought me one, medium size. And Cesar, I read that one yesterday. Pretty cool, huh? You too can check out the recent coffees. But anyway, it's news from a Christian alpha male perspective. And check it out. There's a Punchie TV section on the HakeReport.com. Pretty nice, huh? Sorta. I put up like four of the episodes. It's incomplete, but it's cute. Or it's manly. It's not cute. It's cool. All right. So if you check out the recent news, we have the government shutdown happening right now. We have the military overhaul. Base Pete Hegseth, Cernovich listener confirmed, called out the fat generals. Nice. And ICE grabbing journalists, manhandling the so-called journalists. And I could totally believe it because these so-called journalists, they get in the way. You know what I mean? They totally get in the way, I say. You know, I watched this guy who asks people how they get fit. He makes these shorts. And this guy's on his phone, which is to say he's on his AirPods. And this boomer, probably Gen Xer actually, maybe younger, but he sounds like a Gen X boomer, is just ignoring the fact that he's on his phone talking to him anyway. And the guy's like apologizing, being all overly nice. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I have to call you back. And he takes out his AirPods and explains how he stays so fit. And that's like a journalist. These journalists are so pushy. They're like, you know how there's certain people, races, if you will, who don't mind being pushy to get their way. And some of them are friendlier and more socially intelligent, if you will, or emotionally intelligent or something like that, if you will. And it just comes off as they just push their way politely, or maybe not necessarily politely, but you still think well of them. And it's a good skill to have, but sometimes they get in the way. And then they play victim. And then the immigration people, the people who are for these people who are here illegally, who don't belong here, also play on this victim stuff, pretending like governments, like the ICE is wrong for manhandling these woman-minded people, to put it in men and women terms. So, Hake. Nice. So that's the ICE drama. It's ridiculous. Anyway, twin hurricanes Imelda and Umberto. That's crazy. I'm kind of want to see the video footage. Hurricanes. Dramatic video. We're probably going to have to see. Oh, here it is. Look at this house is breaking down. Hopefully this doesn't blast your ears. Turn it down just in advance. Whoa! Did you just see that? Poor homes collapse into the ocean. It's not exactly in the ocean. I guess it's in the ocean, but it's like into the shore. What? What in the world? Okay. Why is it doing that? Well, not. Get out of the way. Get out the way, yo. Get out the way, yo. Here, is there... why am I such a boomer? Okay, there we go. Wow. I'm not excited to see this, other than that it's awesome. But it's not like good awesome. It's terrible awesome. What? I didn't want that. Stop it. Okay, let's play it again. Whoa! Whoa! So that's a full-blown house. It's not an apartment, because look at the boring pattern of those windows. And look, there's like a beach house on stilts. This is purportedly in one of the Carolinas, I guess. The storms have triggered coastal flood warnings and blah, 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 blah. I couldn't read that fast. Yeah, it says that. It says North Carolina. I just can't read. September 30th, I guess, yesterday. Man, houses were unoccupied, no injuries reported. Well, that's good, I suppose. Cool, huh? Stop it. So, CNN shorts are not as good as whatever. Cool, huh? Cool, like in a terrible way. You know, like, they say, watch, hurricanes are awesome. Let's see although hurricanes can cause terrible damage, they are an important part of Earth's complicated weather system. Like giant fans, they take hot air from the tropics and move it toward the poles. Explain that, flat earthers. They help balance temperatures and moisture around the Earth. I said awesome, and they're calling it good. But awesome doesn't mean good. Whoa, why is it preferring Yahoo? Look at the look at the default search. I feel like I'm getting trolled. Is this my own doing? Anyway, it's not important. We can deal with that later. How'd that happen? I wonder if I got hacked or phished. I probably clicked on some link and destroyed this computer. It's a communal computer, but it's not even my computer to destroy. That's not right. So, whatever. Thank you, guys. That's like the little excitement from the hurricane. Rocked you like a hurricane. I don't know if that's a bad reference. Philippines got an earthquake. What happened with that earthquake? 6.9, which is not too small. Quake struck the central Philippines. It's actually kind of big, killing at least 60 people, injuring more than 150 others. Several, or at least a few, they misused the term several. Buildings collapsed, but sometimes this may not be a misuse of the term. Littering streets with debris after the shallow quake. That means it wasn't that far down, right? Around 10 p.m. local time. Oh, man. Imagine getting rudely awakened. Say you just go to sleep so-called early, before 10 or right at 10. And you have to wake up and deal with this emergency. Thanks a lot, act of God. Emergency services scrambling to find survivors today. Military troops, police, civilian volunteers. Door-by-door searches. 500,000 people or more. Really. felt strong shaking across the Visayan Islands, which includes Cebu, Biliran, and Leyte, per the Geological Survey estimates. Nice, huh? Check out Trump RX. He's making discounted drugs. And that's about it, except for this little thing is interesting. What's up with these little... I didn't know Buddhists worshipped a little girl, or they do now, and Hindus too. Probably not all, but Buddhists and Hindus are both worshiping, according to this commie nonsense network. She was just my daughter yesterday, but today she is a goddess. So says Ananta Shakya. After his, okay, that's a man, calling his little daughter a goddess. 2-year-old daughter, Ariyatara, chosen in Nepal. I think China needs to take back Nepal. Or is Nepal in question? Was it ever like a object of... I could be mistaken. As the new living goddess, worshipped by both Hindus and Buddhists. 2-year-old girl. Terrible twos. Chosen in Nepal as a new living goddess, worshipped by both Hindus and Buddhists. I never even knew this. I thought Buddhists didn't necessarily worship anybody. Look, there he is in the... and that's a girl? It looks like it's not necessarily a girl made out like it. That's too much makeup. That's disturbing. Cover your eyes, kids, and faint of heart. Commie nonsense. Just celebrating all of like the... I dare not call this pagan, because pagan means white, right? Pagan is the... I don't know. Like the white unchristian aspect. Aria, that's so... Chosen as a goddess. By who? It's like the Pope got chosen by a group of suckers, liberals. 2 years and 8 months old. Chosen as the new so-called Kumari, or virgin goddess. It seems wrong to be describing a 2 to 3-year-old as that. The first word it seems wrong even. Replacing the incumbent, who is considered by tradition to become a mere mortal upon reaching puberty. What? Revered by Hindus and Buddhists in the predominantly Hindu nation of what? What's Nepal? Oh, Nepal is its own, what is it? Side question. Oh, see, look at this. What? I feel back at home with evil Google. Yahoo just seems so foreign. But it's so funny that I'm back in the loving arms of communist Google. Terrible. Ugh. What's wrong with me? Nepal is a country in South Asia. Who knew? Get there. There's Nepal. Huh. Wow. Officially the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal. Sounds sort of communist. And a landlocked country in South Asia. Mainly in the Himalayas. Okay. Not right. That's so okay. I'm done with the news. Oh yeah. Except for the ladies at theSkimm are complaining about misogyny. Maybe I'll get to that later. I don't really feel like dealing with that right now. But speaking of worshiping women, you know, ridiculous. 2-year-old goddess, virgin goddess. CNN left that part out. But the ladies at theSkimm also want us to worship women, and if If you do it in the wrong way, they call you a misogynist, which is to say woman hater. But they're women haters. Misogyny. So let me get back to like Christianity. Meanwhile, Christianity, we had that church shooting on Sunday and stuff like that. I wanted to get to something over here. I think I have it from... Yes. Yes. This is Cernovich, speaking of, who I think was Pete Hegseth's inspiration for calling the generals fat, said, this is indistinguishable from what you'd find on a Reddit atheist message board. And what is he talking about? He's talking about words from the Pope. The Pope is no longer Francis, he's Leo. Leo's kind of a cool name. He's referring to this, he was asked by a Catholic sat, posted this. Don't know who that is. Bringing you the very best Catholic programming available on terrestrial TV, satellite, cable, and streaming on the internet. Cardinal Cupich's decision to honor pro-abortion Senator Dick Durbin, saying, quote, I think that is very important to look at the overall work that this senator has done during, and if I'm not mistaken, 40 years of service, he calls it, so-called service, in the United States Senate. Dick Durbin. You heard of him? He's been in there for a long time. I understand the difficulty and tensions, but I think as I myself has spoken to pass, what? It's important to look, is he speaking English or is he speaking in Latin? Are we going to be able to understand this Pope? Because we don't know what Pope Francis really said, because all we had was translations and paraphrases, I think. I could be mistaken. And these popes speak in code, so you don't even really know. They won't really take a clear stand. They talk in flowery generalizations and mess. So you don't know what they're really saying sometimes. And people interpret it or misinterpret it to their agenda. It's important to look at as many issues are related to, but listen to what this guy supposedly says according to this post on X. Many issues related to what is the teaching of the church. Someone who says, quote, someone who says I'm against abortion, but I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life, claims this Pope. And I shake my head about that. Death penalty is pro-life. So someone who says that I'm against abortion, but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who are in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life, claims he. So there are very complex issues, claims he, making complicated what's actually simple, right? Abortion is not complex. Or Dick Durbin is not complex. He's evil. Or he is complex and that's what makes him evil. Let's see. Also not an honest person. This doesn't sound like an honest Pope, or else he's just repeating propaganda that he's swallowed like a sucker, which would mean that he's a liar because he's repeating lies, listening to lies. I don't know. Sounds like because where have immigrants in the United States been mistreated? Or even illegals, because illegals are not immigrants. Some people say illegal people who are here illegally are not actually immigrants. They're illegal. Immigrants suggest that they're here legally, which they're not. But sometimes they twist the law and make it so that it sounds legal or it's allowed or whatever. Deferred action, for example. So whatever. But where has anybody even been treated inhumanly? Even that woman who was pushed to the floor, she was pushed like a human being to the floor. And was she treating the ICE agent like a human? Or yeah, I think she was. She was treating him like a angry emotional woman would. So anyway, I don't know if anyone has all the truth on them, claims the Pope. But I would ask first and foremost that there to be greater respect for one another If you had greater respect for one another, why are you disrespectfully casting ICE as inhumanly treating people? I don't know. It doesn't sound respectful to me. I haven't seen it. Talking out of both sides of your mouth. Is the Pope communist? And we search together both as human beings. In that case, as American citizens or citizens of the state of Illinois. Dick Durbin. As well as Catholics, to say we need to, really look closely at all these ethical issues to find the way forward as church. Church teaching each one of those issues is very clear, claims he. Thank you. Well, your blathering is not clear. Let's hear if he speaks in English, shall we? Let me unmute, and then I'll get to your calls and stuff. Let's hear if this Pope, he looks reminiscent of like another Pope.
I just wanted to ask one thing that has become a bit of a divisive subject in the U.S. right now, with Cardinal Supich giving an award to Senator Durbin. Some people of faith are having a hard time with understanding this because he is he's for legalized abortion. How would you help people?
And that's the only thing Catholics pretend like they care about. They're for illegal aliens, but they're only tough about abortion. And then caring, quote unquote, for the poor. So,
faith right now. Decipher that, feel about that, and how do you feel about that?
I'm not terribly familiar with the particular case.
He's not terribly familiar with his own senator from Illinois. Isn't this man from Illinois? Leo Pope from Illinois. Is he from Illinois? I feel like he's from Chicago. Oh yeah, I'm on. This is terribly distracting. Oh, it doesn't even autofill for me. Leo from Illinois. Pope Leo was born 14th of September 1955 in Chicago. And how old is this Pope? But anyway, okay, well, let me let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, so-called Pope. Here, let me repost this so you guys can find it on my X. Indistinguishable from a Reddit atheist message board states, that guy.
I think that it's very important to look at the overall work that a senator has done.
He's filibustering.
During, if I'm not mistaken, 40 years of service in the United States Senate. I understand.
He's basically Obama.
The difficulty and the tensions, but I think as I myself have spoken in the past, it's important to look at many issues that are related to what is the teaching of the church. Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life.
Yes, he is.
So someone who says that I'm against abortion but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants.
What inhuman treatment of immigrants?
In the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life. So
you don't know if that's pro-life?
Very complex issues. I don't know if anyone has all the truth on them, but I would ask first and foremost that there be greater respect for one another and that we search together both as human beings, in that case as American citizens or citizens of the state of Illinois, as well as Catholics, to say we need to really look closely at all of these ethical issues and to find the way forward as church.
Ethical issues is a communist buzzword.
Church teaching on each one of those issues is very clear.
No, it's not. I, hypocrite, says Catholics really need a pope who isn't a progressive hippie. How about they don't need a pope? What a mess. That's a politician. That's not a pope. A pope means papa, right? Means father. Call no man father. That is so crazy. I'm distracted by, where's my settings? Let's see. How do I find default Search settings. I don't know how I do that. I don't know how it switched either. Maybe I'll let Anchor Baby do it. Fix it for me. What a mess, huh? Terrible. Anyway, so that's the Pope. Not much better than a 2-year-old goddess, I would say. About as sensible as a 2-year-old goddess. Shout out. Let's get to Billy in Mississippi, I think. Billy, first-time caller on the Hake Report. How you doing, man?
Hey, Brother Hake. How you doing, man?
Doing fine. Thank you, sir.
Look, I talked to Brother Jesse for the third time.
Was that was earlier today, huh?
Yes, sir.
Right on.
Look, I want you to be honest. Look, you have a platform, and that platform speaks to a lot of people, and you have choices to make. Tell me what a Christian is and why they're a Christian. What's the truth and what's a lie? You have a platform, my friend, and you're speaking to a lot of people that need your advice. Be real and be honest with them, okay?
Well, in the common vernacular, I'll just use the common vernacular. A Christian is someone who is either raised or adopted the Christian label. Raised in or adopted the Christian label. And then it's misinterpreted, I dare say, in any one of a bunch of traditions or anti-traditions.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means that most Christians are fake.
Are liars.
Yep. You said liars and I said fake, so yeah.
So most Christians are liars.
Yep.
I'm a liar.
You are too? Were you raised Christian?
Well, I was raised that way. My daddy died when I was 15. And
your dad? Daddy?
Yeah, he died when I was 15.
Uh-huh.
I had two other brothers, 13 and 10, and all three of us had been married and divorced at least twice. And
was your father married and divorced? What happened? How did you guys get this way?
No. My father never divorced anybody.
And are you a boomer or a Gen X?
When he died, sir.
Are you a boomer or a Gen X?
I'm 52 years old.
52. That's Gen X, I would say.
I'm Gen X.
Yep.
You know what that means?
That means
you know what that means? That means I should know the truth, but I don't know the truth, and I'm scared.
What 58 being age 52 means you should know the truth?
No, it just means that I'm a 52-year-old man who is scared.
Scared because scared of going to hell? Scared of what?
Yeah.
Yes? Oh, I put words in your mouth. Scared of what?
No, I'm scared of going to hell because I say I know the truth.
What were you going to say you're scared of before I said that?
Well, I'm scared of being alone.
Oh. In life right now?
Yes.
Okay. So being alone meaning not being with a gal?
I'm damn sure not a guy. Excuse my language.
Well, I just
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So you can't because on one hand everybody is alone, just like Madonna rightly saying, even though I disclaim her. I disclaim Madonna. But she said,
why in the world would you do that?
Why would I disclaim her or why would I quote her?
Both.
Why would I bring her up? I just like the line where she says, "Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone." I don't know. It stuck with
But
me.
life is not a mystery. Life is not a mystery.
How is it not?
It's really not.
It's not?
Yeah, I guess in some ways it is.
But in what way do
man,
you mean that it's not a mystery?
That's a good question.
Because fear is based on mystery, isn't it? Or fear is based on impending certain doom, or maybe it's both. I don't know. I think it's kind of
It's
based
both.
in mystery, based in imagination, because you anticipate the anticipation of something that you don't want to deal with.
Okay, look, where are you from? Are you from? Were you born and raised in California?
I was.
Oh, guess what? I was born and raised in Mississippi.
Nice.
You know what that makes me and
So-
you? Two completely different people when it comes down to the mindset of what we were both raised and thought were true.
Sorta, yeah. I mean, you were raised Christian, though, right?
Yes. How old are you?
44.
Oh, Lord, I used to be 44. I'm 52 now. I'm 8 years older than you.
Nice.
And that's the truth is, I'm from Mississippi. You're from California.
Do me a favor.
both
Stay
of us-
close to your phone receiver. You seem like you may be speaking slightly away from the phone receiver. Like it
No,
may
I'm not.
be
I'm sorry.
slightly up or slightly down from your mouth. And so it might come in a touch clearer or significantly clearer if you're strict about the placement of the phone next to your face.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's about the same. We'll deal with it. I just wanted to see if it could improve. Go ahead. It's not the worst. I can understand you.
Okay. I'm from Mississippi and you're from California. And this world that we're living in right now is a whole different ball game than what it was 30, 40 years ago. And you know that. And your listeners know that too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean it's transformed a lot in a bunch of different ways.
But
What's that have to do with you? What's that have to do with you and me and your fear and being Christian?
It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that we're living in a different ball game than we were 30 plus years ago.
In terms of
and
dealing
we all know
with
that.
in terms of dealing with women and getting a girl and not being alone, or what do you mean?
I'm not worried about the woman or the girl. I'm worried about life in general. Your listeners.
But life in general really hasn't changed much. It's just the different stuff on the outside has changed.
Ecclesiastes says it.
Yeah.
There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun.
No, but anyway, what's your point? You're scared. You don't want to be alone. What's a Christian? And the world has changed. You sound like you have a whole bunch of, you're awash in thoughts.
Yes, I am. And so are your listeners.
Don't worry about the listeners, man. The listeners aren't the ones on the phone with me.
I know, but they care about what you say.
Oh, are you calling to exhort me?
No.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, your listeners care about what you say.
Some of them don't care. I encourage them not to care too much. You hear my disclaimer, it gets more and more it gets heavier and heavier, my disclaimer. I'm to the point where I'm even disclaiming my attitude.
Why do you not care? Why do you not care about what your listeners hear?
Why do I not care about what my listeners hear?
Yes.
I didn't say I don't care what my listeners hear. You're putting words in my mouth. I care.
I apologize.
Yeah, I care what they hear.
I apologize for that.
You even cussed. And then you apologize because you know that I care about my listeners here.
Okay.
Right?
You're right.
So you want to be decent. Just because I have to disclaim everything and, you know, stuff that you hear on the Hake report, even from out of the mouth of Hake himself, may be untrue, doesn't mean that I just don't care.
I know you care, and that's the reason you have your platform.
I don't know if that's true.
No, you have your platform because you care.
You think so?
I know you do.
Nice.
Then why do you have it?
I was given it.
By who?
JLP.
Well, guess what? That man cares.
Nice.
And I know he does.
You think so?
Yeah, I know he does.
Yeah.
Because I listen to both of you. And that's the truth. He cares about you just like the people that listen to you care about what you have to say.
Well, I mean, some people really appreciate me. Some people listen to hate. Some people listen to, like, misinterpret. Some people don't even really listen. They just in the chat. And all kinds of just different things. But,
no, my friend, people care about you.
Right.
And they care about what you have to say. They care about you and they care about what you have to say.
Nice.
And that's the truth.
Right on.
You have a platform that can be used for God's word, and that's the truth.
Right.
Do what God called you to do. Okay?
Nice. Thank you, man.
He called you, and he called you for a reason. And that man, JLP, gave you a platform to do that. And you have the choice to make your decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Look, man, I don't know you, but I love you. And I'm going to let you go. You have a good day.
All right,
Bye.
Billy. Take care. Nice. Terry in Oregon is on the line over here. Terry, I was thinking about you.
Yeah. Why?
Because I saw that dreadful person who claims there is no insurrection in Portland.
Are you talking about our hideous mayor? Or not mayor, governor.
Governess.
Governor woman.
Yeah.
Government. Yeah, she's horrible.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know, or I had forgotten.
She's a nasty, nasty, nasty woman.
Is she really?
So corrupt. She is so corrupt and so fraudulent and so dishonest.
What do you mean by corrupt and fraudulent? I understand dishonest. And maybe that's the same. Maybe that's all. Are those all synonyms?
Yeah. I mean, they do go together.
So what do you mean by dishonest then?
Because just because somebody's dishonest doesn't necessarily, or just because somebody's, you can be dishonest without, like, you know, using government money to enrich yourself and to create deals for your friends and
whoa, is that
go
what you're
on lavish vacations under the taxpayer dollar while the rest of the legislature has to work to put through policies that are incredibly unpopular that you demand.
So
Oh
is
my
this
God.
what you're alleging is going on?
Yes, Hake.
Ah, see, look at this. I'm
If
just
you
gonna have
look-
to.
if
I'm
you
gonna have to
dig
get
into
used to
her-
Yahoo.
If you dig into her and her fat alcoholic wife.
Whoa! I disclaim. Oregon gets a. Okay, so this is 2015 state integrity. She came into office in 2022. What's going on with this? Okay, Tina Kotek, right? Kotek?
Yeah, I have another name for her, but I don't want the kids to hear it.
Okay. And so it's unpopular what she's doing.
Yeah, she's incredibly unpopular.
How'd she get elected if she's unpopular?
I don't know. I don't know that our elections are.
Oh,
well,
okay. Well, I disclaim.
yeah, I disclaim that I do not trust
For the sake of the
the
channel.
electoral
yeah,
process, especially when everything is done voted by mail.
She looks like an effeminate man. And it's on purpose, too. You know what I mean? It's purposely portraying herself this way. Some of these gals are so... Is it bad to say butch? They're so butch in their style. First openly lesbian woman elected Speaker of the House, State House, 2013. And was the longest-serving Speaker of the Oregon House of Representatives, having so-called served for 9 years, and an elected governor of Oregon, 2022. So the fellow politicians must have liked her if she was Speaker of the House for that long.
Yeah.
Meaning the Democrats, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
well, I mean, so many of the politicians in Oregon are just terrible. Like, they don't even live here.
Yeah.
And they,
really?
Yeah. And they've just been in office for so long, and they don't, anytime you write to them or try to talk to them, they just send out the same platitudes.
So
is
she worse than Kate Brown?
Somehow she is, yes.
Kate Brown, I forgot about Kate Brown.
Kate Brown was bad, but yeah, she's friends with Kate Brown too, and actually secured a deal. I can't remember, it was with one of the we have all these natural wonders in Oregon, all these beautiful parks, and there was some sort of waterfall deal that she got, where the deal she gave to Kate Brown's company. So it's all a scheme, they're just doing deals, enriching each other, just like the mayor,
Wikipedia doesn't have the word her Wikipedia doesn't have the word corrupt in it, FYI.
Yeah.
So the mainstream media apparently would not necessarily agree with your characterization of her. Not that the mainstream media
I don't care what
right.
the mainstream media says.
Me neither. Not really.
They're not honest either.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, why would they,
so that's her back in.
talk about all of the nasty, grubby deals and waste of taxpayer funds and just corruption going on? Why would they do that?
Yeah.
If we knew the extent of it, we'd be too ticked. Well, anyway, and it's just dishonest. It's so difficult. When you live here and you go about your day-to-day business, and you see the degeneration of the city of Portland, and they take these little snapshots. All these people now, they're encouraging all the little good liberals to go around and videotape all the pretty little things in places in Portland.
Yeah, I've seen some of that propaganda, and they're like, "Oh, Portland is at war. Portland is under a what is that called? Insurrection."
Yeah.
Yeah, Portland is under siege, and then they post these peaceful, different scenery, pretending In your face,
Yeah, because
Trump.
that's going on apparently,
Meanwhile, 2 blocks away, or however far away, the Antifa is tearing apart, or trying to tear apart ICE and stop ICE from doing its job.
Yeah. And
Or
assaulting journalists.
was it
and
in Portland or was it Seattle where during 2020 they tried to barricade the police inside of the courthouse and set the courthouse on fire? Was that Seattle or Portland?
That happened here.
Yeah, so they've been under insurrection from Antifa, occupied by Antifa, which is to say terrorists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you want to call it, if you agree with Trump's characterization, which I think you and I do, for years. And so so I agree with you. She's dishonest.
Totally dishonest. And it's like being gaslit, and it's just so enraging. I mean, I don't know, not enraging. But
No, it's enraging. It's not right to be enraged, but yeah.
Every single day, if I go out of my home right now, I can guarantee I'm going to see some people off their face on drugs, slumped over, on fentanyl, or just clearly up to no good. And I don't live in a very bad area. And it gets worse depending on where you go in the city. And it's all throughout the city, not just it's not one little area. It's throughout. You find people camping and just on drugs. It's a crisis, and people are dying all over the place. Is that not a war? Is that not?
Yeah, that's a serious mess.
And a lot of these people are on drugs that are being trafficked by illegal immigrants, which ICE has busted many of them. And also, there's a lot of issues with prostitution in this area as well. And a lot of those people are trafficked.
Yeah.
By gangs. And some of those people are not legal.
Yeah.
They don't. It's so naive. It's really upsetting. And it's hard to stomach. But I didn't even go off about that too much. I wanted to talk about J.K. Rowling and the Emma Watson beef.
Oh, cool! You saw that on my website when I showed it.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was like, oh, I want to know Hake's take.
Okay, so we dive into that, but
yeah.
Real quick. What you remind me of is when I was going off on the Pope, and something that occurred to me about the Catholics and the Christians and the establishment, so-called authorities in religion, in the political government, and all of that is evil, and people are evil. So they are liars. And they are destructive.
And we are at war with them.
What do you mean by that?
There's a war. There's a spiritual battle going between good and evil, and we are in a spiritual war. There's spiritual warfare. This is a war zone.
Yeah. Well, it's not that we're at war. I don't know what you mean by we're at war with them, but to clarify, they're supposed to be evil, kind of. We know that the world is evil, including the so-called churches and the so-called government. And
the Catholics are really, a lot of them are very, especially the Catholics, they're not the only ones, obviously, but because so many of the illegal immigrants that come into America are from, Latin and South America, they're Catholic.
They're so-called
by
Catholic.
and large.
Yeah.
So, a lot
Catholic
of them
in name only, too, by the way. Kind of like the way that...
a lot of them...
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the Catholics have a very tribalist mindset, and they see these people as their people.
Yeah.
Above, law-abiding citizens that may be Protestant or, not affiliated with any religion.
That's an
They
interesting
would rather
point.
identify with people that are criminals.
You remind
because they have a shared identity.
Yeah. You remind me of, I guess it's more Catholics per capita who are having a problem with Jews. I guess Jews and Catholics have historically had a big problem with each other, whereas Protestants, I don't know if we Protestants used to have a bigger problem with Jews in the olden days, like Walt Disney and Henry Ford. I don't know if those guys were normal Christians or if they were Catholics. I mean, Catholics or normal Christians, meaning Protestants, or if they were neither Christian nor Catholic. But I guess I heard in the olden days, we didn't have that false guilt about anti-Semitism. But those so-called Christians want you to join the team of the few little Palestinian Christians against Israel. But who are these Palestinian Christians? We don't know that how Christian they truly are. When there's Palestinian,
Orthodox Christians aren't very. They're very tribalistic as well. They don't even believe that people outside of their church are Christian. So.
And then they criticize us normal Christians for being radically individualistic.
That's because our church developed in Western Europe, and we have, a sense of individualism in Western Europe.
Yeah.
That's why, the church became that way. We couldn't. The church is the people, and when you convert different races and types of people, the church's culture is going to be reflected.
Yeah.
That's why the Roman Catholic developed the way it did, and that's why the Orthodox developed the way they did. And the Protestant Reformation happened because of the individualism of Western Europeans.
Oh, the Enlightenment and all that stuff?
Well, I saw this really interesting documentary that talked about how in Western Europe we were some of the first to ban cousin marriages.
Whoa.
So that created a sense of nationhood as opposed to like clanship.
Oh.
So that kind of the reverberation of that meant that people had to be individuals and they couldn't rely on nepotism to find marriages or do business, basically. So you had to develop yourself more as an individual, whereas prior to that, in like a more clan setting, you would marry people basically within your clan. And obviously there's genetic problems with that, but it also developed a character in Western Europe that was more individualistic because people were having to identify and work with people outside of their own families. And, areas. So you would have to go often out of your town to marry.
Right.
And you couldn't marry somebody that was a blood relative.
Yeah.
So that actually had a lot of benefits. And I think it's part of, we see like in communities where that kind of is practiced still. You see it in the Muslim world, especially in the East, in Asia, parts of Africa. I mean, this is part of why they're not as developed. It's because they still marry their cousins. So I don't know. Okay. Kind of an interesting thing to go off of, but I think that's part of why Protestantism happened. It was because there's just this sense of individualism and autonomy in the Western European that's will not be ruled.
Well, like I told Billy, and as Madonna sang, everyone must stand alone.
Didn't she get excommunicated from the church for that music video?
Maybe so.
She was Catholic. She got excommunicated for that video. It was considered blasphemous.
Oh, okay. Is that from the song called "Like a Prayer"?
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was a guy in my chat. I call him a snake, but he told me what that song is supposedly about. I won't get into it. But
and if you're in the chat, you're a snake.
Oh yeah, totally. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. But this chatter is remarkably snakish. At least stands out in my mind. Anyway, shout out. Oh wow, what a mess.
Dang.
So okay, let's move forward because we basically said, okay, yeah, they all think in terms of the group rather than what's right, and that's so typical.
Yeah.
That's sort of anti-Christian.
It's very black of them.
Yeah, because that's how blacks think. Oftentimes, it's black-hearted.
Black-hearted.
Yeah. What a mess. What a terrible mess.
What was your insight about the J.K. Rowling, Emma Watson thing? Because you were saying like mature lady versus immature lady.
Yeah. That's funny as you read it that fast. Okay, hold on. I keep on doing this wrong. I don't know what I just pulled up, how that happened. Okay.
I think it's amazing that J.K. Rowling, held her tongue for so many years before saying something. I thought that showed incredible restraint.
You're talking about, by held her tongue, you're talking about...
not responding to Emma Watson's, like, many digs at her in the media. Yeah.
Okay. So J.K. Rowling has, for years... I thought you were talking about J.K. Rowling has held her tongue about the transgender agenda, but no, because she's known for one, being a Christian and writing the Harry Potter books as a Christian sort of parallel, right? Mm-hmm. And
I don't know if she's a Christian, but I always saw it that way. It's like good versus evil happening in the story, and the faith of a child and all of that.
Norm Macdonald said she's a Christian.
Well, if he says it, then he would know.
Yep. And rest in peace to Norm Macdonald, famous comedian. Because some atheist Reddit bro, Pope Leo the Fourth type of a guy, was like, I'm kidding around, but kind of, said that, the Bible, he was trying to be funny, right? The Bible is not my favorite book. I prefer, not Lord of the Rings. What'd she write?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. I prefer Harry Potter. And then this judge, Norm Macdonald, was like, I don't find that very funny, and it's not even actually accurate because J.K. Rowling is a Christian and Harry Potter is a Christ figure. So, in your face. So anyway, J.K. Rowling, according to Daily Caller on Threads.com, which is Instagram's wannabe Twitter, X, she tore a strip, which is British for, tore her a new one, I guess. I don't know what's tearing a strip. Anyway, out of Emma Watson in a scathing post shared Monday on X, quote, like other people who've never experienced adult life uncushioned by wealth and fame, Emma has so little experience of real life, she's ignorant of how ignorant she is, which is kind of like what they say about Dunning-Kruger. Dunning whatever. That's what J.K. Rowling wrote. She's ignorant of how ignorant she is. She shreds Emma Watson in a blistering takedown. Oh, Lord. She states, I wasn't a multimillionaire at 14, unlike Emma Watson. Emma Watson was a child multimillionaire, I guess, because she was in Harry Potter as that pretty girl with nice skin. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. I wonder how much poverty that really was. But anyway.
Yeah, there's a difference between poverty and being broke.
Yeah. Anyway, I therefore understand from my own life experience that what the trashing of women's rights, in which Emma has so enthusiastically participated, means to women and girls without her privileges. Yeah, and so and what she's referring to as women's rights is the transgender agenda, I can only presume, right? Because Emma Watson probably has been bashing J.K. Rowling or disagreeing with her publicly because Emma Watson is for the LGBT keyword transgender agenda, right? And so they call that a bashing of women's rights. And so that's what JK's approach is. And so I just found it interesting that although J.K. Rowling is a liberal, even though she's a Christian, she's a liberal. But she is not as far gone a liberal because she's older, I say, as as Emma. Emma is much further gone because she's young, as opposed to J.K., who's older.
I don't think it's about that, though. There's plenty of young women that know this stuff is nonsense.
Yeah, but they're older souls.
Well, they also, again, they haven't experienced life under a bubble as well. Like, they know that Emma is in a position where she is protected from ever having to deal with the negative consequences of transgenderism affecting her as a woman. You know, she has security, she has privacy, she doesn't have to worry about what the plebs go through, you know. And if anything does happen to her, it would be like dealt with. Whereas, you know, what women are dealing with this is, you know, what ordinary women are dealing with is a lot more frightening. They don't have the same protection, and it's, I mean, she can't even empathize or understand from her position, you know, why women would be even uncomfortable or worried about having to share intimate spaces with a male person.
Yeah.
Especially in positions, especially when I think of women that are like in prison or, you know, homeless, needing to use a shelter, or, you know, women that are in some kind of, you know, it's impacted like the domestic violence shelters, you know.
Wow.
And she doesn't also, I think a lot of people don't understand the mindset of like criminal men, especially men that are like sexually predatory. Like this is a perversion that they get off on. And, you know, they've been empowered to basically impose themselves on women and girls who can't say or do anything, you know. And it's impacting women's ability. It will too impact our ability to even participate in public life.
Is this true, what I shared from Elon Musk, who posted a quote tweeted, "End wokeness, data is transphobic." A screenshot of supposed sex offenders per million, biological women 3, biological men 395 per million, and so-called trans women 1,916 per million. Is that a true statistic?
I don't know where he got that information, but I just know from what I understand about the paraphilia that they're, you know, exhibiting. It's something that they get off on.
Yeah, they get excited
like
from
guys,
dressing up
and
getting into situations.
Yeah, and also it's a power trip as well. Like, it's just like, it's the same power trip that people that are lying about anything, you know, and getting away with it are going off on. But they're being empowered to do so, and it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't think there's plenty of young women that see through this, and I don't know exactly what it is, but there's a real lack of honesty, I think, that is at the heart of it.
Yeah.
People supporting this. And, yeah.
Interesting.
I suppose.
Don't know if that screenshot that I showed was true or not, but it's kind of irrelevant, really.
I do know that that they're far more likely to commit violent and sexual crimes than your regular average man, and obviously more than a biological woman. Yeah,
because they have all that anger. I mean, look at Antifa. Antifa is more transgender per capita, and they're also more violent per capita than the average. Even from the average activist, for activists and protesters, they're violent. Yeah. Antifa
well, yeah, that's whole part of their mission is to be violent.
Yeah, and
that's what they're set up to, you know, bash the fash.
Yeah. And
Who's
so,
a fascist? Anyone we say.
they're encouraged to be angry, and they are angry, and that's why they're like that in many ways.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, of course, it's built on open anger. You encourage that, it's just going to go out of control. It's like what's happened to the Black Americans too,
Yeah.
women
Yeah.
and men, so-called men. Interesting. Well, yeah, my point was that when somebody's a liberal, kind of an off the deep end liberal, like a Bill Maher or a J.K.
Mhm.
Rowling, or I don't know, take your pick. Like Leo Terrell was a pretty liberal guy. They're more likely to kind of come around and at least be hit and miss with their liberalism. So that
Well,
was
the
my thing
older
about
they
it.
are, yeah, definitely, because
That's why I
they
always
grew
said
up in a different time.
older women are better than younger women, wisdom-wise or lack thereof, per capita. Shout out.
Definitely, definitely.
What, have you ever heard the term tore a strip out of Emma Watson? J.K. Rowling tore a strip out of Emma Watson? Is that British?
No, I haven't.
That's
It
got to
must
be English.
be.
Yeah.
I've never heard it though, but I don't know. It sounds good though.
Nice. You know, while I have you, real quick, speaking of women, so we can bash women, Miss Pacchietti says, I hope Bad Bunny performs only in Spanish, because you know how Bad Bunny is the NFL halftime person? And you know, you and I are such...
I saw something about that. He's like, I've never heard his music. I'm unfamiliar with him as an artist, but I guess he's, what, a cross-dresser or something?
No. It's just that also I'll tell you about this. I'll tell you about how women relates to this. So
Okay.
Bad Bunny is a Puerto Rican, and he might be slightly, you know how artists are, it's irrelevant, but that's the only thing that makes him girly. He's a liberal. And so he didn't want to come and perform in America, even though he's from America, Puerto Rico. But he's going to do the NFL halftime show. And people are saying, oh, it's divisive, he's a liberal, and it's too political, and blah, 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 blah. And I don't care, because I already knew that the NFL is against America. They're anti-American. And that's been that way ever since, I don't know, since after like right after high school, basically, I think. I've known this. But the conservatives are up in arms, and the liberals are judging the conservatives for being up in arms about it. I haven't even seen any conservatives be up in arms, but the liberals are anticipating the conservatives being up in arms about it. And so this person, this black woman, I guess, Ms. Pacchietti, hopes that Bad Bunny is in an accent so defined, so ambitious, speed and cadence that no Duolingo streak could ever prepare me. Everything is not for all of us, but we get the privilege to see it. Resistance, communist buzzword, is a common language. Even if you don't know the words being spoken, I'm going to understand even when I don't understand. He's got to speak the language of one colonizer, the Spanish. Stop demanding he speak another, the English. So that's black woman speak if I've ever heard it, right? And so somebody is all excited, saying, yeah, that's right, you said it, girl. Something dumb like that. So that's woman stuff. It's just wanted to point it out. Hatred.
I don't know who she is, but or who he is, and I don't watch football.
Yeah.
That man.
But that's that showing that despising for. Wow, that's him. Is that really him? Puerto Rican
I thought
singer,
is he not a crossdresser? I thought he was.
Oh, maybe he is. I mean, I don't know. So is that one guy who's supposedly like a heartthrob. 5'11", 31 years old. Partner is Kendall Jenner, or was for a
Timothy,
year.
Is that right? Timothy something.
Who, Bad Bunny?
No, the partner of Kendall Jenner.
No,
is that
he's
right?
Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio. Bad Bunny.
Oh, Lord.
He was Kendall Jenner's boyfriend a couple years
Oh.
ago. 2-3 years ago. So it's old news. I don't know, that's what he looked like. I get him confused with The Weeknd. The Weeknd. Because The Weeknd has is more black, but black Hispanic, I think. Canadian. Oh. And he has like an afro thing.
Man, imagine being black, Canadian, and Hispanic. Oof.
Is he Hispanic? He was with Selena in 2017.
Wait.
Gomez.
So he's Puerto Rican, but he's like anti-American, or he wants to perform in
He's
Spanish?
a liberal. Yeah, he didn't want to go in because he didn't want ICE arrests at his concert.
Okay, yeah.
So he didn't want to, so he's the king of Latin trap music. Bad Bunny.
What Puerto
He is
Ricans
like
don't get arrested by ICE.
He and The Weeknd, I think, are like some of the top streamed artists on Spotify worldwide. It's very rhythmic, popular, pop, Spanglish music, I think, if I understand correctly. I could be totally mistaken. But anyway, the point is he's a liberal and he speaks Spanish and it's in your face to the whites, to the white Anglos.
Puerto Ricans are Americans.
I know, but they're kind of anti-American. American.
Some of them are. I mean, some of them want independence and that kind of thing for Puerto Rico.
Right.
I think that's a little bit of a separate matter, but
true, but that's not what I mean by anti-American. I mean AOC type of anti-American, where they don't even care about Puerto Rico. They just
hate it.
Yeah, they just hate white people in America.
Basically.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on or what's wrong with people.
They're mad.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, but
they're pretty vicious.
Doesn't it get exhausting being mad after a while?
Yeah, that's why these black women are tired.
Yeah.
Terrible. Well, thank you for. Go ahead.
They're always like, "I'm tired. I'm so tired." I'm like, "Well, nobody's forcing you to carry that heavy burden of anger."
That's right.
You could put it down at any point.
That's a fact.
You could just be normal and chill out.
Indeed.
But whatever. All right. Thanks for taking my call, Hake.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too. Take care. Nice. Before I get to... No, let me get to David in Texas who's on the line over here. I'm going to get to your super chat soon, guys. But David in Texas, thanks for calling and holding. Man, how you doing?
Good, young man. How are you?
Doing fine. Thank you.
Thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
We can dumb it down a little bit. I'm not real intellectual.
Nice.
I used to be a real smart aleck and say to people, it's hard to match wits with an unarmed person. And really, I was the unarmed person.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. I listen to people talk, and I'm like, I think it's that I don't have, my retention is bad. You know what I mean? Like, I can think of things, but when I would be a horrible debater.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I spent the night at this store last night in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And I got there early, and they couldn't unload me, so I had to wait till this morning. But they told me that last week they found a truck driver behind that store who was deceased. I was like, well, that doesn't make me feel real comfortable about spending the night here tonight. But, I mean, I'm not scared. I was just like, it kind of put me a little bit more at a heightened awareness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know, they didn't say whether it was foul play. They didn't know it was being investigated, you know, and so I just thought it was kind of weird. What is your, and I won't hold your feet to the fire on this, but do you have an overall view or a stance on corporal punishment, like the death penalty?
I don't have a solid stance on it. I am for, okay, so corporal punishment is when you spank somebody. And it is? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm for that. Capital punishment, the death penalty.
Capital, I'm sorry.
Yeah, capital punishment. I'm kind of for that. At the risk of being a liberal or emotional, I'm not for it in all circumstances, I don't think.
Right.
But I am for it happening. For example, I think that that young man who did in Charlie Kirk,
yes.
I think that he should get it, that he should get the death penalty. I think. And the reason I think so is because we need first of all, he deserves it. I think he deserves it, and I don't have much doubt of that. And not only does he deserve it, but society ought to see that happen. Not see it physically happen, but ought to recognize that this guy got the death penalty. So that it's a little wake-up call for those who might follow in his footsteps and commit more assassinations. Because I have friends who are from the streets, they call it, and they think that that Charlie Kirk talked mess about transgenders or whomever he talked mess about, so they think, as if they were really aware of Charlie Kirk. I doubt it. And they think that that's justified to do that. And that's not right. We want civilization and the freedom of speech, and you got to enforce that. And if your motive for the alleged motive that I gather from the alleged texts of this alleged shooter is that he was sick of all the hatred that Charlie Kirk spouted. And if you're sick of all the hatred that Charlie Kirk spouted, and you think you're justified in committing an assassination over that, then that is justifying murder over what you think is hate. And that's not justifiable. We're a civilized country, or we want to return to being a civilized country, where you don't get away with murder, not even for life in prison, because having life in prison is kind of getting away with murder for over such a dumb, blind motive. Now, all murder is from a dumb, blind motive, of course. And all murder probably deserves the death penalty, but I think that we should maybe have mercy on some of them and just give them life in prison. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Well, I saw this disturbing video today. I won't give you all of the particulars, but it was definitely not artificial intelligence that created this. And
but you are a boomer or a Gen Xer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, but
my eyes,
be that as it may,
I wear glasses, so you know.
But you're quite sure that it's not a AI.
I'm pretty sure, and it appeared to be in a third world country. Like maybe it sounded to me like they were speaking Spanish, so somewhere in South America, or you know. Anyway, the caption at the top said something to the effect that these people had been caught for selling and you know doing bad things to children, and they had them with their hands tied behind their back, and they were cutting their face, and then they led them to an open field, and one guy was talking English to him. He said, look what you've done. You found yourself in a world of trouble. And in this open field, they doused him with gasoline and burned him.
And this was an alleged PDF guy, an alleged child violator type of guy?
It was 3 people. It was a female and 2 males.
And they were
and they all
alive?
Got it. Yes.
In South America?
Yes.
Yeah. See,
I
don't
can't
know
say
what
for sure it was in South America, but it appeared to be. And then the police came and collected the bodies.
And then did they arrest the perps?
Mm-hmm. I mean, the video is short, so
right.
It was on Instagram, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" And what I have realized about myself is that I'm a thrill consumer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I just happened on this video, but I mean, the truth is that, my feed, a lot of times involves, violence, but I mean, it's, I guess it's no worse or no better than, the video that I came across, that y'all have talked about on the show about the over in North Carolina where the Ukrainian young lady got killed,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just crazy to me how much violence there is. And I think, this is my own personal opinion, is that I don't think that things are so much worse or so much more prevalent than they were. I mean, it has gotten worse, don't get me wrong. But, it's not exponentially. It's just that we have the technology now where we're able to see all of these things. Everybody's got a phone in their hand, so everybody's videoing, and so as soon as somebody, hits record, in 2 minutes, it's, potentially it's everywhere, depending on what platform it gets on.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the evil is that much more. It's just that we're able to see it now. It's kind of like,
yeah.
It's kind of like weather, I mean, we didn't know about all these weather events until we were, until everybody's able to record and converse about these things because.
And it's interesting because
everything was kind of regional.
Yeah. And this spread of this evil is the spread of outrage, overreaction to what they're seeing that has nothing to do with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or celebration of these things.
And the recording of it fuels more of it.
Yep. Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, so there's
in that
sense it is increasing.
On tape, oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Ever increasing
and
wickedness.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
You started to say, and you know why what?
I don't know.
Nice.
I like your show, and I appreciate your time. And
that sounds like a terrible story on IG. That I'm sort of surprised that it was allowed to be on Instagram. Although I guess you can get away with it for a minute before they shut it down. Because on Instagram it seems much more censored than X, which is kind of a good thing, I think. But interesting.
Right. I was listening to Billy on Jesse and your show, and
Billy the Caller, yes, yep,
yeah. Oh, and you said, did you call to exhort me?
Yeah.
And I'm calling to extort you.
And what's that mean?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your call.
I'm just kidding. Man. I don't understand why, because I don't get into the snake pit. If I ever put anything on there, it's just to say hi to you guys,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's almost like there's 3 or 4 components to your listening audience. You know, it's like people that like you, people that just get on, you know, the chat to go back between each other. There's people that, you know, that don't like you. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I bet it's really weird for you, you know?
Well, I don't think about it much, but it is.
Yeah.
It is interesting to think about because the squeaky wheel seems like the bigger audience, but maybe most of my audience is not flat earthers, for example. To make
Hey. Don't you say that. Don't you talk bad about the flat earthers.
I almost wore my Flat Earth Confirmed shirt from Show Sugino. It's good to hear from you, David, in Texas.
Hey, you too, man. You have a great day.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, you as well. Bye. Okay. I want to get to William number 7 in Cali. What's up, William number 7? How you doing, man?
Hake, I am doing good.
Nice.
Shout out to TERRI in Portland, right?
TERRI,
So,
yeah. In once beautiful Portland.
So I was just at the bowling alley yesterday.
The bowling alley?
The bowling alley, yes, sir. The people in the lane next to us came from, I asked them where they came from because they didn't look familiar. It's a pretty small town I live in. And they came from Portland. And I asked them about the mess that was there. And they agreed, but they were there.
Wow. So they agreed with you that it was a mess and not, and did they agree with Trump sending the troops? The notion that Trump may send the troops?
I didn't talk about that.
Good.
I just talked about,
that's probably
had the kid with me. And so, you know, the kid modded with the one guy. I thought he knew him, but he had never met him before. So his name, I'm not going to dox him. Well, I guess first name's okay, right? Those are pretty general. But I asked him about his name, Darius. You know, Darius Rucker from Foodie, and he goes, "No, I was named after Darius in the Bible."
Nice, King Darius.
Or
King Darius.
Darius, who I guess he was a contemporary of Zechariah, and he was the one that I read a bunch of scriptures while on hold. But yeah, King Darius did. I think it said he feared the Lord at the end. Yeah. Oh, he was king of Persia. He was the king of Persia.
He threw Daniel in the lion's den against his own will.
But
right,
remember,
one
he
of them.
said, yes. And at the end, he said, "Was your God able to save you?" And he said, "Yes." And then he threw the other guys in the
the guy,
and they ate them before they and
before they hit the floor.
They hit the ground or hit the bottom of the pit. I guess
because King Darius loved Daniel in the lion's den, and he was sorrowful because Daniel would not worship King Darius, but these guys tricked King Darius into saying everybody must worship you, otherwise they're throwing you into the lion's den. And Darius is like, well, I don't know if it's him personally or the oh yeah, because it was another because I thought
it was his guys stroking his ego, and so he thought that sounded good. Yeah, anybody who won't worship me, throw him in the. But it backfired. But then it didn't backfire. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it backfired on the evil guys.
Wasn't
anyway,
Daniel a contemporary of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego?
Those were his friends, but yes, they ruled with him because in the beginning of Daniel it said that those 4 did not defile themselves with the king's delicacies or meats.
Yeah.
And so the jailer didn't want to be beheaded. So Daniel said, "We'll test this. Give us 10 days with just the vegetables and see if our countenance is better and fairer." And he did, and he saw that they were not only better, but then when they were tested, I forget how many years it was, nobody was like Daniel, Meshach, Abednego, and that other guy. So yeah, they served in the king's courts because how awesome they were.
There was another idol that, like a big towering idol that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't worship. And was it Nebuchadnezzar?
Same thing.
Nebuchadnezzar got mad?
That would be King of Babylon. Because remember, So Persia came after the Babylonians.
Oh, wow. So these men...
the Medes and the Persians.
So these
and then
poor
the Greeks
Israelites...
was the... yeah.
They were under Persians and Babylonians.
Yeah. Because, the Babylonian was Nebuchadnezzar, and he wound up worshiping God after God humbled him, made him like a cow, I think, for 1 year or maybe 7 years. He ate like his hair grew and his nails grew. And
wow.
And then after God took him out of it, it said that he worshiped God, God sets up all authorities, and you either exalt him or you don't. But yeah.
Nice.
So that was Babylon, and then after that was Greece, which was, what's his name? Conquered King Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great.
And then.
But Alexander the Great's not in the Bible, is he? He's in the in-between
time?
time?
It does. They do allude to him.
Oh, really?
It might be extra biblical. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But somebody pointed his name out in the Bible, and that's why he believed in the God of Abraham.
Oh, really?
He was actually mentioned.
He was a Christian?
He was actually mentioned by name. No, it didn't say he was Christian. This is before Christianity, because remember.
Well, by Christian, I mean Jewish? Or Israelite?
God's law.
He followed the God of Israel?
Way to live.
So Alexander the Great believed in the God of Israel?
I believe so.
Wow.
If my memory recalls right, now it's being...
In your face, Kevin Howe.
Oh, he's got a blue wrench in your chat. I know.
Yeah. He's our resident pagan, but he's a Christian-friendly pagan, I think, kind of.
Oh, okay. Well,
he just makes fun of us Christians for following the Middle Eastern Jewish God.
Well, I think it's the guy who created,
like Alexander the Great did.
Yeah,
allegedly,
and like the Pope does, right? Maybe. Fascinating. So I forget what I told, what's his name? I think I was just going to talk, just whatever's going on. So I just thought it was neat that, what's her name's from Portland, and I met someone from Portland last night at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
And his friend looked like the guy, Andrew Anderson. Anthony Anderson. Looked just like him. It's the lead character in that comedy sitcom, Blackish. You know that show, Blackish?
Oh, no, I haven't seen it. I've heard about it, though.
Oh, yeah.
So he showed respect. So Alexander the Great didn't necessarily believe in the become a monotheistic believer in the God of Israel, but rather showed respect for the Jewish people and their God after encountering the high priest Jadus, even offering sacrifices at the temple as directed. He continued his own pagan religious practices, believing himself to be divine or divinely appointed, though Jewish tradition interpreted his actions in a dream as a divine favor and recognition from God. All right.
Yeah, most do.
That's from Google AI, so I don't know if it's true.
Kings. Yeah. Well, I mean, he was the king. He conquered, remember, I think, history, when we took history, Alexander conquered that area the fastest, and I think in 10 years, and then he either died of suicide or just, because he had nothing else to do. He had no more else to conquer. And I also heard maybe he was involved in some other mess, like the stuff you're not supposed to do.
Okay.
The mess that's going on today. And then the Romans after that,
Yeah.
And Rome's still around today. We kind of live like Romans. The Romans, wrestling's big. We wrestle.
Totally.
All that Rome stuff. We have a parliament. We have,
Right on.
Rome's still alive. Anyway, so I guess, so that's it, I guess. I think the guy that followed me yesterday from Canada, and he wanted to know what my point was, and I guess sometimes I'm not good at it, but he really continued my thought quite excellently, and I actually liked
what was that?
How he took my thought.
What thought was that?
Oh, I can't remember, man. I'm old, brown, and slow.
Oh.
About the biblical question.
Oh.
He didn't know what the point I was making, but I was just saying that the gospel, the truth is, and you guys were talking about it, I would say, try to be more succinct, that the gospel is that Jesus said, don't give up, keep learning and growing in truth and righteousness, But today, we're just supposed to believe that Jesus died for our sins. But the fact is, he died, not changing the message, and went to the cross, a brutal cross, and didn't change the message. And the message was to sin no more. And yet today we're told we're helpless sinners and that he was God. Yet then why would he come if he was God? That means it was easy for him. But Jesus, being a man, born and incarnated to this realm, he did not change the message, and he was not deceived by Satan. Therefore, that's why God resurrected him, first fruits, and we will be resurrected too if we do not go along with the lie.
Okay.
I don't know, something like that. But yeah, so Jesse's right. We don't believe in Jesus. We have to believe his message, and that was to repent and to be righteous. Like, remember, even in the scriptures, it said, "Be righteous as I'm righteous." You know, or be holy as I am holy. Yep. In other words, lacking nothing and live in the present. I mean, Jesse's kind of right about that. If you live in the present, you'll realize you have all you need. You have more than to be thankful for. And if you live in contentment, well, you won't yearn for nothing, because yearning just traps you. That's kind of what the Eastern philosophy kind of does. That's what the Buddhist alludes to anyway. And it's definitely woven into the Christian belief, but we just listen to idiots and saying it's different, and so they're all wrong.
Yeah.
Say they're going to hell, and that's not even biblical. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to let you go. I think I said enough. I hope it connected and people understood what I meant. And if not, well, I apologize. I'm just a man.
No worries, William, number 7. I appreciate you, man.
All right, man.
Take care. You too. Before I get back to the calls, Greggatron bought a coffee. Okay, Hake, I have a pop, not to pop. It's not like popping a question, okay? I have a pop, as in pop music, related question for you. I heard you talking about Britney Spears and Taylor Swift on your show. But what's your take on Lady Gaga, ? Personally, I don't care for her. When she first came on the scene, or didn't care for her when she first came on the scene, but now her voice is really growing on me. I'm cracked, I'm growing terrible, huh? But now her voice is really growing on me. Sorry. Her voice is different from, thank you for saying from, different from most pop singers. I like that. Yeah, that's true. And she more has a face for radio, if you know what I mean. I like that, says Greggatron. Also, she's a pretty decent actress. She has a different look to her. Yeah, I noticed that as well. Sort of a beak on her. Does she have a beak? Shout out to the gals with beaks. I would call her mildly attractive. I think that's fair. Call her mildly attractive. Mildly attractive. Not like a knockout. Like a, Britney Spears. Britney Spears, I haven't ever really been a fan of her look because she always looked like she could get real fat. Or just get kind of fat, pudgy. Sorry. But it's true. And then T Swift, just a total knockout. But you're just not supposed to, you're supposed to stick with the mildly attractive gals. Her music videos look a little bit too demonic, in my opinion. Goes on, Greggatron goes on, referring to this Lady Gaga. Yeah, that's my drawback with her, too. She hung out with old Marina Abramovic, the spirit cooking thing. I think she may have even gotten spirit cooked herself. Something like that. Not that I know what that even is, but I've seen pictures that seem to be associated, at least from the laymen or lay people, about so-called spirit cooking. It's artistic / demonic. But I still like her because she's out there and she's unique. I probably won't buy any of her CDs. He's a older millennial, I guess. But still, I like her. CDs. Who buys CDs anymore? What do you think? Hey, ? Yeah, my grandpa-in-law, or my cousin's grandpa-in-law. Oh, no. my cousin's father-in-law. I guess it's my cousin's grandpa-in-law, too. But anyway, yeah, he's all Christian. I hung out with him. He's like a church guy, and I fed the poor with him. I went with him to clean up after Hurricane Katrina one time. I poured punch for the homeless bums in Pasadena alongside this man, a Christian, and yet he went to some Lady Gaga concert and he said it was good. This is before she got super demonic, I guess. But it was around the time of her rah, 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 Yeah, I respect her talent. Great singer, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I've never seen her. Maybe I have. So I'm not a fan of the name Lady Gaga. But does she have a beak? I guess it's an exaggeration to call it a beak. I don't know. When you see her profile, she has a beak. Let's see. Profile picture. A profile means this. See, watch. All right. See, my Roman nose. Is it Roman? I don't know. Or is it Jewish? Oh, yeah, see, that's sort of, that's not even quite a beak. It's not even big. But I don't know, sometimes it just looks sort of like a beak, a protruding nose, a white person's nose, if you will. But, see, that's just, ugh. I'm not a fan of that style. But when she's normal, she's all right, whatever, I don't know. Okay. That doesn't look good. Get some eyebrows, lady. And, I don't know, something wrong with it. But, and this is a bit much, too. Don't go with the dye. Leave the dye alone, young lady. How old is this gal? 39 years old, 5'1". Whoa! Partners, a couple of partners in the past. Why are they calling her that? Okay. Stefani, Joanne, Angelina, Dermanota. So is that Italian? Early life check. Upper middle class Catholic. These Catholics. Very talented. The Catholics are talented because they're Italian. Per capita. Nice, Greggatron. It's I agree with your assessment, Greggatron. I think that's fair. Very fair. My goodness. Lord have mercy. Popcorn, I haven't heard you speak about this as much as Jesse has, but I wanted to get your take on the cashless bail system. Jesse is against it, and he frames it as letting the criminals out of jail, which does happen, indeed. Keep in mind, this is all typically pre-trial release, right? So let's take the concept of innocent unless guilt has been proven and set it aside momentarily. Not everyone is given a bail to begin with. Why would it matter if there is a cashless bail system versus traditional bail system? Being against the cashless bail system and for traditional bail just means the person has to pay in order to be released pre-trial. In either case, they would end up out of jail, says he. Is the thought process that most people can't afford to pay bail, so they end up sitting in jail awaiting trial, which is what people are in favor of? Using money as the determining factor seems wrong, says he, says the little communist. If you truly care about community safety, the cashless, quote-unquote, bail detractors seem odd to me. If you don't want people out of jail pre-trial, just be against the concept of bail altogether. Why is there this resistance against cashless bail? Those people are basically admitting the lack of financial resources, what keeps people in jail pre-trial, which is a good thing, I say. You're okay with rich people who get accused of something going free, but you want to keep the less well-off ones in? Question mark. Help me understand that, and where do you stand? I'm with Jesse on this because, yeah, if you have money per capita, you're going to be a more responsible person, all right? And a responsible person is going to be less erratic of a criminal per capita. So you're less likely to do crazy things while out on bail. But if you don't have to pay any money, then you're going to let highly irresponsible people out. And they already have, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they've already committed a bunch of crimes. And they lie about it and cast it as a racism thing. Black and brown people are most affected by this because they're less well off. Because why? They're less responsible with the money that they do get. And not only are they less responsible with their money, they're less responsible with their actions. So you got to hold them responsible somehow by bail and by hold them in jail. They don't have the law of the heart. Popcorn. So hope that helps. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. Cesar says, sup, Hake, missed an hour and a half of your show since my dental appointment, doxed, is having a dentist. Was the same time your show starts. Wow, you got to plan that better, Cesar. Just kidding around. I haven't had my teeth cleaned in about 3 years. Boy, that was a brutal process. They scrape. Sensitive. Tell me, Hake, when was the last time you went in for a teeth cleaning? Not too long ago, actually. Before that, it was like 12 or more years. If you don't mind at all doxing, of course. He said dox. Doing the little doxing, of course. Be safe, everybody. Thumbs up emoji. Yeah, I've actually been on it overall a bit, sort of. Yeah, kind of costly stuff if you don't take care of yourself. Brush and floss, okay? Brush and floss in the evenings and then brush in the mornings is what one of my dentists, the cleaning lady, okay? I went to a white male dentist. I found one. Dogs. Hope nobody shows that to my dentist because and that thing. Anyway. Thanks again, Greggatron. And this is terrible, but I always do this to Rob too in NorCal. Rob, thanks for calling and holding, man. You got 2 minutes and a half.
Hey, what's up, Hake? That's all good, man. I was listening to all the flat earth clowning that was going on today, so I had to call in real quick and explain the world to you guys again.
Yeah.
But climate change and storms and all that actually makes more sense on a flat earth because the sun is closer and it's smaller, so it's creating more discrepancy. I'm getting some feedback on my end.
Oh, that's just me. You're hearing some wind noise because I'm showing Venice Beach because I'm closing up shop shortly here.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So and on the globe model, the sun is 91 million miles away, and with the circumference of the Earth being 24,000 miles, the change in rotation and tilt is like 6,000 miles. So 6,000 divided by 90 million or 91 million is like 0.00006% difference. So the tilt wouldn't matter as much in the globe model because the percentage of change is so low.
Yeah, but what about the angle? The angle matters a lot.
It does not. No, that's the change.
No,
the angle changes. Yeah, the angle only changes within that 6,000 miles.
Oh, so, I don't know. I thought that the sun is sometimes like directly overhead, and then the shadows are longer all day in the winter.
Yeah,
it's a notable difference.
That's because the sun is further away as it travels around the Tropic of Capricorn, I guess.
Because the Tropic of Cancer is in the north. Tropic of Capricorn is down over the Australians. Well, interesting input, man. I'll have to ponder that. I got to wrap up.
All right, man. All right, brother. All right, y'all have a good one. God
Appreciate you, man. Take care.
Yep. Later.
Right. And Rick in Hampton, VA, and Sean in Florida, and the rest of the callers and super chatters. I got to go. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. Bye.